In the spotlight tonight is Valerie Chow from Merseyside, a retired history teacher. Her specialist subject is Puccini. Alistair Littlewood from Nottinghamshire, an Anglican vicar, and his subject, the novels of Sebastian Faulks. Christopher Warren from Bristol, a personal assistant whose subject is European nobility in the 18th century. And Tom King from Wickford, a local journalist, whose specialist subject is Dad's Army. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind, the game with one simple objective: to find out who knows the most and who can remember it under the pressure of the clock. There are two rounds, one on specialist subjects, one on general knowledge. 2 minutes on each, and the winner is in the running to become Mastermind champion. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Valerie Chow.
Your occupation?
Retired teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The life and work of the composer Puccini.
Puccini. 2 minutes, starting now. Who created the role of Dick Johnson at the premiere of La Fanciulla del West in New York in 1910?
Enrico Caruso.
Correct. What was the name of the banker's wife whom Puccini met in London and with whom he maintained a long correspondence?
Sybil Seligman.
Yes, in La Bohème, what does Colleen give up in order to pay for Mimi's doctor when Musetta gives up her earrings?
His overcoat.
Yes, which of Puccini's operas derived its opening theme from one of his 3 minuets for string quartet of 1884?
Edgar.
Manon Lescaut. Which composer gave his name to the musical institute in Lucca that Puccini entered as a full-time student in 1874?
Puccini.
Correct. In which family's chapel does the escaped prisoner Cesare Angelotti hide at the beginning of Tosca?
The Attavanti Chapel.
Yes. With which fading group of artistic reformers did Puccini associate from 1883 to 1884?
Pass.
Which important element in the plot of Turandot only occurred to Puccini in November 1922, 2 years after he'd first begun work on the opera?
The Three Riddles.
No, The Death of Lou. Which orchestral work did Puccini compose as part of his final diploma at the Milan Conservatory?
The Capriccio Sinfonica.
Yes. Which of Puccini's operas contains the soprano aria Ci il bel sogno di Doretta?
Pass.
To what term of imprisonment was Elvira Puccini initially condemned as a consequence of the Doria Manfredi affair?
6 months.
5 months and 5 days. In which city was Madame Butterfly performed in December 1906 in the form that has since become the standard version?
Brescia.
Paris. Which Napoleonic battle forms the background to the events in Tosca?
Marengo.
Correct. Which work by the Sicilian writer Giovanni Verga did Puccini attempt to turn into an opera at the same time as he was working on La Bohème?
La Lupa.
Correct. Although the first version of La Ville was described by Puccini as a dramatic legend, what was his description of the revised version first heard in Turin?
Pass.
Which of his operas ends with the principal character directly addressing the audience?
Pass.
It's Gianni Schicchi. Your other passes: Opera Ballo was the first version of La Ville. La Rondine was the opera containing that aria Ci il bel sogno di Doretta. The Scapigliati was the fading group of reformers with whom he associated. And those are your passes. Valerie Chow, you have 8 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Alistair Littlewood.
Your occupation?
Anglican vicar.
And your chosen subject?
The novels of Sebastian Faulks.
In 2 minutes, starting now. In Charlotte Gray, for what does Peter Gregory say that Charlotte is the code word in G-section terminology?
The moon.
Correct. What name do the miners in Birdsong give to the superstitious game where they predict the positions of the enemy in the tunnels?
Pass.
Which make of car does the young Pietro believe was driven by everyone in Italy in a fool's alphabet?
Humberhawk.
Maserati. What does Frank trace on Mary's spine with his finger when she asked him to write something on her during On Green Dolphin Street?
His number in the army.
Yes. In The Girl at the Lion d'Or, according to Hartmann, what did his grandparents call the mid-morning meal that was served every day at their house in Vienna?
Pass.
What does Charlotte Gray say that her mother would have called the cream of asparagus soup served during her train journey from Edinburgh to London?
Cabbage water.
Bill Sticker's paste. Which word sparks off Raymond Russell's interest in etymology in A Fool's Alphabet?
Pass.
What is the name of the inn in Burnham Market where Stephen stays in Birdsong?
The Blackbird.
Yes, in On Green Dolphin Street, Benton jokes about a new cocktail called the Sputnik that is 1 part vodka and 3 parts what?
Pass.
Which fairy story does Charlotte Gray begin to tell Monsieur Chollet in order to prove to him that she is British?
Cinderella.
Correct. What is the headline on the newspaper that the hotel's patron shows Hartman when they meet in the street in The Girl at the Lion d'Or?
Laval in charge.
Salengro cleared. Which code word does Stephen use in his notebook when describing his confused feelings towards Isabella Azer in Birdsong?
Pulse.
Yes. Pietro discovers that which Paris metro station had been renamed Colonel Fabian in A Fool's Alphabet?
Pass.
In On Green Dolphin Street, what was the name of the 14-year-old boy whose murder trial Frank had reported on in Mississippi?
Emmett Till.
Yes. In The Girl at the Lion d'Or, in which competition has the German Shepherd Oscar come second out of all the dogs in France?
Truffle hunting.
Correct. Which piece of his uniform does Lieutenant Levy give to Stephen as a souvenir in Birdsong?
His belt buckle.
Yes. What in Charlotte Gray is the real name of Pascal, the American woman who helps Peter Gregory in Marseille?
Nancy Brennan.
Nancy Brogan. According to Deke Shepherd in On Green Dolphin Street, I've started, so I shall finish, it has to reach what temperature before Muscovites get to pull down the flaps on their hats?
-20.
Minus 15 degrees. Your passes, it was the combat station that had been renamed Colonel Fabian in A Fool's Alphabet. That cocktail is 1 part vodka and 3 parts sour grapes. Penthouse was the word that sparked off Raymond
yes.
Russell's interest in etymology. Second breakfast was what they had at the Lion d'Or mid-morning. And the name of the superstitious game was Fritz. 5 passes, Alistair Littlewood, 8 points.
Thank you very much.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Christopher Warren.
Your occupation?
I'm a personal assistant.
And your chosen subject?
European nobility in the 18th century.
European nobility. In 2 minutes, starting now. In France, how were the nobles who served in the royal courts or administration known, as opposed to those who pursued the profession of arms and were known as the noblesse d'épée?
Noblesse de robe.
Correct. How many peers did Queen Anne create in a single day in 1711 to overturn the Whig majority in the House of Lords and ensure the passage of the Treaty of Utrecht?
15.
12. Which Italian city was ruled by the Gonzaga family until 1707, when it became a fiefdom of the Austrian Habsburgs?
Milan.
Mantua. Which member of the Viennese aristocracy became Beethoven's patron after their meeting in Bonn in 1788?
Prince Esterhazy.
Count Ferdinand von Wallstein. What title did Peter III hold before becoming Russian Emperor in 1762?
Grand Duke of Muscovy.
No, von Holstein-Gottorp. Throughout the 18th century, Rosenholm Castle in eastern Jutland was home to which Danish noble family who still live there today?
Pass.
What term meaning estate ownership was given to the system by which most Junker landlords ran their estates as commercial units with a completely dependent peasant labour force?
Pass.
What name was given to the counter-revolutionary émigré force raised by Louis Joseph, the Duke of Bourbon, in the 1790s?
Girondiste.
Condé's army. Which Magyar family had by the 18th century become the largest landowners in Hungary, in time possessing a private fortune that was greater than that of the Habsburg emperors?
Radziwill.
Esterhazy. The death of which Swedish king in battle in 1718 led to the end of absolutism in Sweden and the nobles gaining far greater power?
Karl the 11th.
Karl the 12th. What was the name of the class of Russian knights who held estates peopled with serfs in exchange for military service to the Tsar?
Dvozhin.
Correct. The flamboyant Polish-Lithuanian Prince Karol, who led a pro-Russian revolt in 1767, was a member of which influential noble family?
Pass.
What name was given to the book in which the names of all the members of the Venetian nobility were inscribed?
The Golden Book.
The Golden Books is correct. Your passes, Radziwill was the flamboyant Polish-Lithuanian prince. Gutsherrschaft, the term meaning estate ownership. Rosenkrantz inhabit the Rosenholm Castle in eastern Jutland. 3 passes, Christopher Warren, 3 points. And our final contender. And your name is?
Tom King,
Your occupation?
local journalist.
And your chosen subject?
The television series Dad's Army.
Dad's Army in 2 minutes. According to the lyrics of the programme's theme song, who goes off to town on the 821?
Mr. Brown.
Correct. In Come In, Your Time Is Up, which of the regular characters is revealed as able to speak German?
Hodges.
Yes. Which confection does Pike say he uses his sweets ration to buy in Asleep in the Deep?
Hundreds and thousands.
Yes. Pike sings an anti-Nazi parody of which song, after which the U-boat captain demands to know his name?
Colonel Bogey.
Whistle while you work. Mannering is sporting a hairpiece in Keep Young and Beautiful, but what does Wilson wear to make himself look younger?
Corsets.
Yes. What is the title of the episode which was lost until 2001, in which a detachment of the Highland Regiment tried to capture Mannering's headquarters?
Operation Kilt.
Correct. In the first episode, Fraser reveals that he held which rank when he retired from the Royal Navy, after Mannering expresses no surprise upon hearing that he hasn't any army experience?
Petty officer.
Chief Petty Officer. Which actress plays Walker's girlfriend, who's called Edith in 2 episodes and Shirley in 2 more?
Wendy Richard.
Yes. To whom does Mannering say in a brief encounter-style meeting at the station buffet, "I don't want you to go. The whole pattern of my life has changed. I just live from one meeting to the next"?
Fiona Gray.
Yes. What is the name of Godfrey's cottage, which escapes demolition to make way for an aerodrome in Is There Honey Still for Tea?
Cherry Tree.
Correct. Dad's Army's co-creator Jimmy Perry plays which Max Miller-style stand-up comic in the episode Shooting Pains?
Charlie Cheeseman.
Yes. In the test, which former England cricketer plays E.C. Egan, who Hodges drafts into his team?
Fred Truman.
Correct. What's the name of Captain Mannering's brother, also played by Arthur Lowe, who's a purveyor of carnival novelties and usually the worse for drink?
Barry.
Yes. Whose face is chosen for a platoon recruitment campaign, only for it to be mistakenly printed on a wanted poster for an escaped POW?
Jones.
Yes. What was the name of Arthur Lowe's wife, who played the part of Godfrey's sister Dolly?
Joan Cooper.
Yes. The use of the hall at which church is regularly the subject of dispute between the vicar, the Reverend Timothy Farthing, and Mannering?
St Aldham.
Yes. In the final episode, what's the name of the woman whom Jones announces to Mannering that he's fallen in love with?
Marcia Fox.
Yes. Olive Mercer started just, but I'll finish, plays the wife of which of the regular characters in the episodes War Dance and Getting the Bird?
Yeatman the Verger.
Indeed it was. No passes, Tom King, 16 points.
Okay.
So that's the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 3 points, Christopher Warren. Joint 2nd place with 8 points, Valerie Chow and Alistair Littlewood. In 1st place with 16 points, Tom King. So, the general knowledge round now. Let's see if there's a difference here. And if there's a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account. Let's get on with it and ask Christopher Warren to join us again, please. Must be said that you chose a whopping great subject, European nobility. Why the 18th century?
To me, it strikes me as being really the end, the absolute end of the Middle Ages, where we turn from the tail end of feudalism into the age of Enlightenment and the age of revolutions and what we really think of as modern times.
Can you have a nobility without a monarchy?
You can, although I don't think it would last for longer than a few centuries. They tried it in Venice, in particular, where it was a noble republic in which the nobility was, in effect, closed absolutely. But the flip side to that is that by about the 1790s, they found their numbers had more or less halved since the first count in the 17th century. So it's possible to have a nobility without a monarchy, but with no source of recruitment or refreshment of the gene pool. It does tend to dwindle.
Right. Well, let's see how you do with general knowledge. You scored 3 points with European nobility. 2 minutes, starting now. Which type of knitted woolen jacket is named after the cavalry officer who led the charge of the Light Brigade?
Look, cardigan.
Yes. The name of which branch of science comes from the Greek for natural things?
Biology.
Physics. The eastern diamondback is the largest of which group of snakes?
Cobra.
Rattlesnakes. Which film duo had an excellent adventure in 1989 and then embarked on a bogus journey in 1991?
Bill and Ted.
Yes, in Rome and Britain, who was the wife of King Prasutagus?
Boudica.
Yes. In medicine, what name is given to a stitch or row of stitches holding together the edges of a wound, or to the wire or thread used for this?
Suture.
Yes. The United States and the Soviet Union signed the ABM Treaty in 1972. What do the initials ABM stand for?
Aerial ballistic missile.
Anti-ballistic missile. After the Battle of Culloden, who took Bonnie Prince Charlie, disguised as her maid, from Benbecula to Portree?
Flora MacDonald.
Correct. Which pacifist Protestant sect originating in Switzerland in the 17th century are today settled mostly in Pennsylvania?
Anabaptists.
The Amish. The bark extract of which tree was the original source for the drug Taxol used in the treatment of cancer?
Pass.
How many gold rings does an Admiral of the Fleet have on the sleeve of his uniform?
5.
Yes. Which 16th century Italian architect gave his name to the classical style of architecture that was introduced into England by Inigo Jones?
Palladio.
Yes. Which group's song Don't Stop was used by President Clinton as his campaign song and was sung by them at his inauguration?
Pass.
On the shores of which lake do the towns of Vevey, Montreux and Evian stand?
Geneva.
Yes. The works of which surrealist artist who died in August 1967 featured recurring symbols such as the female torso, the bowler hat, the castle, the rock and the bourgeois little man?
Matisse.
Magritte. You had 2 passes. Fleetwood Mac were the people who sang Don't Stop, and it is the yew tree from which we get Taxol. 2 passes, but you've gone up to 11 points. And now Valerie Chown again, if she would, please. And can we agree that Puccini is sort of the most popular these days?
Yes, we certainly can.
Yeah. Not the greatest, possibly.
No. Nobody would dispute that the fact that he's not the greatest, but he's certainly the most popular. So I think about probably the 15 of the best-known arias in the world were written by Puccini. I'm not going to sing them for you.
He was not highly regarded as a composer when he was young, was he?
No, he wasn't, and he was not highly regarded by some of the purists for a long time. I think there are probably still people who wouldn't hold him in very high regard at all. Now, Mahler was very dismissive. Mahler said something like, any fool who can orchestrate can write an opera. But he was very popular with the public, despite the fact that some of the critics were a bit snooty about him and looked down their noses at him.
Well, he left a great legacy.
Yes, he did.
You scored 8 points with your knowledge of him. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Which French trapeze artist gave his name to a close-fitting one-piece garment worn by dancers?
Leotard.
Yes. What name is given to the national religious folk cult of Haiti that uses a mixture of Roman Catholic and African rituals?
Oh, voodoo.
Yes. Which poet eloped to France with Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin in July 1814 and later married her?
Pass.
What is the general term for a plane figure bounded by straight lines, especially one with more than 4 lines?
A trapezium.
Polygon. In embroidery, what name is given to a test piece worked in various stitches, typically containing the alphabet and some mottos?
A sampler.
Yes. Which great silent screen actor did H.R. Mencken describe as catnip to women?
Roscoe Arbuckle.
Valentino. The destructive power of which natural phenomenon is measured, especially in the United States, on the Saffir-Simpson scale?
Earth strata.
Hurricane. Which term usually refers to the protrusion of an abdominal organ through a gap in the abdominal wall?
A hernia.
Yes. Cyberphobia is an irrational fear of which form of technology?
Pass.
Which historic English county was divided into 3 administrative divisions known as parts of Holland, parts of Kesteven and parts of Lindsey?
Lincoln.
Yes, Lincolnshire. Who played Richard de Vere, a self-made millionaire grocer with a Czech mother in the television series To the Manor Born?
Oh. Pass.
Which early 20th century art movement used a multiplicity of viewpoints so that many different aspects of an object could be simultaneously depicted in the same picture?
Pass.
In 1973, Denmark, Britain and which other country joined what was then the European Economic Community?
Norway.
Ireland. Which anti-slavery campaigner and philanthropist was born in Hull in 1759?
Wilberforce.
Yes, in a speech to the Prussian Parliament in 1862, Otto Bismarck claimed that the great questions of the day cannot be solved by speeches and majority votes, but by What?
Blood and Iron.
Yes. Which musical based on stories by Sholem Aleichem about a milkman living in a Jewish village in Tsarist Russia opened on Broadway in 1964?
I've forgotten.
Fiddler on the Roof. That's what it was. Cubism is that particular art movement that I was looking for. Peter Bowles played Richard
Yes, of course.
de Vere, you knew that. Computers is what cyberphobia is all about. And Shelley eloped with Mary Wollstonecraft, or she eloped with him, whichever you prefer. 5 passes, Valerie Chow, 15 points. And Alistair Littlewood now, please. And you are a vicar with a taste for Sebastian Faulks.
That's right, yes.
Now, all sorts of things happen to vicars nowadays that didn't used to happen. Burials. Somebody was telling me that you have people now insist on being buried with their mobile phone.
Well, that's a story I've heard. It's not yet happened to me, but I have heard that on occasion people have been buried with their mobile switched on.
Switched on?
Switched on, yes.
Well, they're expecting a call, you mean?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yes, so they're waiting to see from which direction, up or down.
Is there a logic to this?
I suppose that it may be that somebody had a great fear that they'd be trapped inside and they were alive, really, so it's their last chance to get out. I don't know. I really don't know why.
But if they're 6 feet under, you have to wonder whether they get much of a signal, don't you?
I've not tried it.
No, well, they're quite. I imagine. Right, you have 8 points. Let's see how you are with general knowledge. 2 minutes
then.
starting now. Which American writer's novels include Death in the Afternoon and For Whom the Bell Tolls?
Ernest Hemingway.
Correct. Alfriston Clergy House in East Sussex, purchased for £10 in 1896, was the first building acquired by which conservation body?
National Trust.
Yes, which city on the Danube was known as Pozzoni when it was the capital of Hungary from the middle of the 16th century till 1784?
Bratislava.
Yes, who was the only British queen to reign jointly with her husband?
Mary II.
Yes, which Greek mathematician born about 287 BC is generally credited with making the first theoretical calculation of pi?
Pythagoras.
Archimedes. Gracie Mansion's the official residence of which city's mayor?
Memphis.
New York. The French award, the César, is said to be the equivalent of which American award?
Purple Heart.
Oscar. Which bear, native to Southeast Asia and also known as the honey bear or bruang, is the smallest member of the bear family?
The Flying Fox.
The sun bear. In 1907, William Willett began a campaign for which change that now occurs in Britain in March and October of every year?
Putting the clocks forward and back.
Yeah, daylight saving time. Which 1964 musical is an adaptation of Thornton Wilder's play The Matchmaker?
My Fair Lady.
Hello, Dolly. In the dialect of which English county did John Collier write poetry under the alias Tim Bobbin?
Devon.
Lancashire. Which white-faced clown dressed in a baggy white costume in the traditional harlequinade was developed by the 19th century actor Jean-Gaspard Deburau?
Pantaloon.
Pierrot. Which main ingredient has resulted in the drink absinthe being banned in many countries?
Cannabis.
Wormwood. Which photographer's publications include The Most Beautiful Women in 1981 and Elizabeth R., a photographic celebration of 40 years in 1991?
Norman Parkinson.
Patrick Litchfield. Who starred as Dr. Joseph Mengele in the film The Boys from Brazil?
Pass.
Which of Shakespeare's tragedies, with its suggestions of adultery and final murder scene, was described by Thomas Bowdler as unfortunately little suited to family reading?
Titus Andronicus.
Othello. In which Derbyshire spa is the Doric-style building the Crescent built on the orders? I'll finish the question of the 5th Duke of Devonshire when the town tried to rival fashionable Bath.
Buxton.
Buxton is right. Your pass was Mengele. He was played in The Boys from Brazil by Gregory Peck. 1 pass, Alistair Littlewood, 14 points.
Thank you very much.
And finally, Tom King, please. You are in the very happy position of being so far ahead you can't be caught up now, whatever you do. So a quick chat about Dad's Army. Based on the Home Guard, obviously, was it meant to poke fun at them? I ask that, it sounds a silly question, because obviously it was a comedy, but there was a bit more to it than that, wasn't there?
It was the gentlest of fun poking. Bear in mind that Jimmy Perry, who created it, had been a member of the Home Guard himself through much of the war, and he wasn't minded to send up his own war record to any great extent. And of course, it's not just about the war, it's about England, and it's about the class system,
Yes,
it's about
yes.
the way the whole society sort of flawed, uptight, with its inbuilt rigidities and its extraordinary snobbery personified in the little town of Wilmington-on-Sea. But in the end, this was the society that held its own, and this was the society which beat Hitler.
Well, it did you proud. I cannot pretend this is a close contest because you have 16 points already. General knowledge, 2 minutes, starting now. What name is given to the curved sword with one cutting edge, often associated with sailors?
A cutlass.
Yes, which bear-like creature with a long snout drawn by Wally Faulks first appeared in the Daily Mail in 1949?
Snook.
Fluke.
Fluke.
In which Commonwealth country is Lake Athabasca explored in 1771 by Samuel Ahern, who named it Lake of the Hills?
Tanganyika?
Canada. What did David Lloyd George describe in 1907 as Mr. Balfour's poodle?
The House of Lords.
Yes. Which word derived from the Greek for no place was coined by Sir Thomas More and has passed into general usage for an imaginary idyllic place?
Utopia.
Yes. The English ironmaster Abram Darby became in 1709 the first person successfully to use which fuel in the smelting of iron?
Coke.
Yes. What nickname did the World War II bomber aircraft, the Dornier Do-17, acquire because of its slender fuselage?
Memphis Belle.
The flying pencil. In Hans Christian Andersen's story, the princess proved her rank because she could feel what object through 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds?
A pea.
Yes. Which East Coast resort has advertised itself as so bracing since 1908?
Skegness.
Correct. In Middle Eastern cookery, what name is given to the oily paste made from crushed sesame seeds?
Pass.
In which of Shakespeare's works is the play Pyramus and Thisbe about two star-crossed lovers performed?
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes. Which child star of the 1940s played Judy Garland's sister Tootie in Meet Me in St. Louis?
Pass.
The invention of which card game was attributed to the 17th century Cavalier poet Sir John Suckling by his biographer John Aubrey?
A bridge.
Cribbage. Which English-born writer's 1963 bestseller, The American Way of Death, led to a reform of the funeral industry in the United States?
Pass.
Which famous 19th century naturalist who married his cousin Emma was the grandson of the potter Josiah Wedgwood?
Darwin.
Yes, in Egypt, the majority of Christians belong to which ancient monophysite denomination?
Pass.
And I haven't started, so therefore I won't finish. But you have. You had 4 passes. It was the Coptic Church. The majority of Christians in Egypt belonged to. Jessica Mitford wrote The American Way of Death. Margaret O'Brien was the star of Meet Me in St. Louis. And tahini is what you get if you crush up sesame seeds. 4 passes, Tom King, 24 points.
Thank you.
So at the end of the contest, the scores. In 4th place with 11 points, Christopher Warren. 3rd place with 14 points, Alistair Littlewood. 2nd place, 15 points, Valerie Chow. In 1st place with 24 points, Tom King. Which means, of course, that Tom King goes through to the next round. Congratulations to him. Do join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Tonight on BBC Two, Melvyn Bragg tells the remarkable story of the most dangerous man in Tudor England, whose legacy lives on today. That's at 9. Next, though, Spring Watch in the afternoon.